We're glad to be sharing the ministry of Redemption Church with you. Now join us as we receive the Word of God.
Welcome, everybody. How's everybody doing today? Who's glad it didn't thunderstorm us off the face of Plano today? So it's been a tough tough week, especially with storms and everything. I hope everybody's doing well. If you have any needs, please let us know. We care. We want to be a help to you. Welcome, everybody joining us online. Everybody say hi online. Excellent. You might be there in your pajamas, I don't know, eating a bowl of cereal, but you're here, and we're so glad to be with you and to share the gospel of Jesus with you. We are in the final week of our Promise series, all right? I want to remind you, our goal to this series is to save future and current marriages, okay? And to bless your relationship with godly wisdom. So we think that covers everybody. What do you say? All right, that's week 4. If you missed any of it, you can find it online, but I've got a lot to say today, so we're just going to push right ahead. All right, I want to start here. Sin ruins marriages. Say it one more time. Sin ruins marriages. Think about every problem that has ruined a marriage, and sin has been the culprit behind that problem. Adultery, pornography, lies, unforgiveness, secrets, coveting. The list goes on and on and on. Sin ruins marriages. So listen, if you're going to have a saved marriage, if you're going to have a healthy marriage, you have to do something about the problem of sin. And let me help you with that. Not other people's sin. Let's go there for a second. Right? Our own sin. We got that? Start there. Do not do this. I'm so glad you're preaching on sin today because my spouse needs to hear it. Don't do that. Somebody say amen. We got to deal with our own sin problems. Let me talk really quick to the not married yet crowd. Can I get a woo from the not married yet crowd? All right. Do not wait until you are married to work on your secret sin issue. All right? Start today. If you have an addiction issue, don't wait to, I'll get all that sorted out ready when I'm ready to build a life. No, you start today on addiction issues. You start today if you have problem with lying and telling the truth or stealing or any of those things. If you have problem with what your eyes see on a computer screen, start handling that sin issue today. Do y'all understand that? Yeah. All right, good. That's good. Sin is not a foundation you want to build anything upon. You don't want to build it on lies. You don't want to build it on misdeeds. You don't want to build it on anything that is sinful. Do y'all agree with that today? All right, here we go. Let's go back to Genesis chapter 2. We've spent the whole series in Genesis 2. We're going to go back there. Verse 24 and 25. Stop me if you've heard this one before. That is why a man leaves his father and mother and is united to his wife, and they become one flesh. Pause. What's really interesting, I find in this verse is this is actually chronologically placed before there is even a human father or mother around. You ever catch that? It's there. They have not had any children yet, but this is the whole setup, and this is what marriage is about. And we're being taught that before there is such thing as a mother and father. Now, verse 25, it says, Adam and his wife were both naked, and they felt no shame. All right, we're going to talk about the word shame today. The word shame is boosh. Somebody say boosh. Boosh is a Hebrew word, and it means to be ashamed. But if you go a little deeper, it's kind of a weird word, and it means to become pale. I have got a lot of pale, boosh skin here. I've got to work on that. But that's a weird, interesting thing about the term shame. It means that you're pale, to become pale. I want you to understand that shame here is a bad thing. When I say bad, I don't mean the not the playful kind of, oh, you're so bad. You come into the bedroom with ice cream and your wife says, oh, you're so bad. Like that means no, you are king of the earth. Let me translate. When your wife says, oh, you're so bad like that, that means you're doing real good. Y'all don't know that? I want to just make that really clear for you. And let me tell you, Bluebell Homemade Ice Cream, you being really all the kinds of good, bad, right there. Husbands, that's a good thing. All right. But I'm telling you, this word shame is not the playful kind of bad. Shame means pale, as in all the blood, all the life force drains from you. Have you ever been in a situation where you just lost it and you just went white as a ghost, somebody would say? That the blood just like rushed away from your brain and from your face, and people went, are you okay? That is the kind of shame that they did not experience in verse 25. We read it. It said they had no boosh, no shame. They didn't know what it was like to have the blood rush from their body, for their life force to drain out from them, for them to feel ashamed. They didn't know what that was. They had no clue what shame was. Wouldn't it be great to live in a life where you didn't know what shame was? Wouldn't it be great to have a marriage where there was no shame? Wouldn't it be great to have a home with children where there was no shame? Wouldn't it be great to have a church where people came in thinking they're going to be judged, but no, they're not shamed here, they're loved here? That's what I'm all about. I want to see a lack of shame in our world again. Anybody with me? Can we be that church? Can we be that home? Can we be that married couple? In Genesis 2, Adam and Eve felt no shame. But then, it doesn't stay that way, does it? Because somebody shows up in the story. Who shows up in the story? A serpent shows up in the story. And Adam and Eve, they disobeyed God. And when they disobeyed God, everything changes and they feel something that they've never felt before. And I would tell you what they felt was shame. This happens in Genesis 3. Genesis 2, no shame. Genesis 3, this happens. Verse 7 through 10. Then the eyes of both of them, Adam and Eve, were open, and they realized they were naked. And they realized they were naked, so they sewed fig leaves together and they made coverings for themselves. They attempted to cover up their own nakedness. They tried to cover up their own fear and their own shame and their own guilt. They tried to do it themselves. Verse 8, then the man and wife heard the sound of the Lord God as he was walking in the garden in the cool of the day, and they said, God, we've been waiting to see you all day. Is that what it says? No. What did they do? They hid. So now they've hidden their bodies, and now they're hiding themselves from the Lord God. They hid from the Lord God among the trees of the garden. So now they're even hiding behind trees. Verse 9, but the Lord God called to the man, where are you? And Adam says, he answered, I heard you in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked, so I hid. You ever notice that kids learn some things without ever being taught? Interesting thing, right? Adam, in this moment right here, learned some things that nobody taught him. Nobody taught him shame. Nobody ever taught him to hide. Nobody ever taught him that nakedness was a wrong thing. And nobody ever said that you need to be afraid of the Lord. That was nothing, that didn't exist anywhere. But when shame came into the picture, all of that was on the table. When shame came into the picture, that paleness that life drained from him. And all of these things were now how he operated. He operated from fear, and he operated from guilt, and he operated from a need to hide, and it doesn't get better, it gets worse. But we're going to move on from here. I want to tell you, shame always causes us to retreat and to hide. Always. If you are hiding anything in your life right now, it's because you're ashamed of it. And the time you should be going forward, and you should be trusting each other, and you should be fighting for one another, and you should have this is the day the Lord has made, and we get to spend it together. Are you kidding? That is so wonderful. I get to spend my day with my wife. Isn't that so great? But then shame comes and you retreat from what should be wonderful, what is a God-given gift, and you then hide. That is the work of shame. Anybody ever see a kid, you walk into the kitchen and the kid goes, oh. Anybody ever do that? That's perfectly normal, right? Nothing to see here, right? No, that flinch. Anybody ever see a kid flinch when you walk into the kitchen? And has anybody ever seen maybe a kid with a lot of chocolate on their face? Oh. They're like, what are you doing? And they're like, nothing. I'm definitely not eating chocolate chip cookies, if that's what you mean, right? So they cause a mess. It's clear to everybody that they've been in the cookies, but they will retreat from it. They will try to hide what they have done. That's kids, and we've all seen it, right? Everybody nod. You've seen it. Guess what? Adults do it too. Sometimes with cookies, but sometimes with things far more serious than cookies. You ask that kid, did you cause a mess? They hide it. You ask an adult, did you cause a mess? And they'll also try to hide that. Did you do something inappropriate? No. No. Hands behind the back, holding the very thing that they've done. I'm telling you that it is not who is asking them that causes that hiding. It is the shame that they feel that causes the hiding. If you are ever dealing with someone that's hiding, it's not time to attack them. Not time to attack the person that's hiding. They're retreating for a reason. They're ashamed. Everything's already pouring out of them. It's time for somebody to pour something into them. Somebody feel that right now? That's where you pull up a chair and say, you and me, I don't want you to hide from me. I want all of you. I want all of your fear. I want all of your worry. All the stuff in the past, let's dig it all out and talk about it, because we need to live in the present and in the future, and we're going to do that together. Do not attack people that are facing shame and fear. And we don't see God do that in this story. If you look, as you read Genesis 3, God does not ever attack Adam and Eve in this story. Men and women, husbands and wives, friends, parents, Redemption Church, let us never attack someone that is feeling shame. Let's tell them that that's not who they are. They're valuable. God loves them. We love them, and they have a bright future. That's what we're going to do. Somebody say amen. I want to tell you that shame happens when we connect a bad action to our identity. And that's what happens. It's not the thing we did. It becomes who we are. And when it becomes who we are, that's where we feel that shame. That's where we are hit with that really hard. And the enemy always wants to tie what you have done to who you are, because that takes away your value. And in his mind, that's going to take you away from the love of God. Because how can God love a liar? How can God love a murderer? How can God love someone who is abusive? But who knows that nothing can separate us from the love of God? Nothing can separate us. There is not a shame that can drag you away from the love of God. And whatever pours out of you, that paleness, that pouring out of your life force, God is able to fill you up to overflowing. He's able to pour more love in you, more strength in you, more mercy in you, more calling in you, more gifting in you. He's able to pour his very spirit inside of you. Somebody say that's more better. It's more better. That's more better. That anything you've done cannot compare to what God can give you. I'm a witness of it. But this is how it works. I did bad, so I am bad. We become the thing we did. We hide because of shame. So let me ask you this. Think about for this for a second. What does it look like to hide in a marriage? What does it look like to retreat and to be afraid and to go hide, try to cover yourself and try to hide behind a tree when it comes to your married life? What does that look like? It can look like this. I'm working late again. Just to withdraw. Are they working late again? I probably. They probably are working late again. Could they maybe not work late again? Probably. Now, listen, do not be a workaholic. That's a whole other thing we can do. But there is a thing you can avoid. I've got stuff to do. Sorry, I can't right now. And that can be a way that we hide. That can be a way we cover up. Or how about this one? I'm headed to bed early. Can be that. They might just be tired. It's true. We get tired sometimes, right? Or how about this one? I think I'm going to go hang out with the boys or the girls tonight. Nothing wrong with hanging out with other people. That's all right. That is okay. However, if you are giving people yourself and not your spouse, you're probably hiding. How about this one? I don't need to talk about it. That screams hiding. How about this one? Hiding your phone and getting overly cautious that someone will check your phone, right? Or how about this one? This is one. We'll go there. Oh man, y'all still love me after this? Here it comes. How about this one? Hiding your spending habits. There's ways to do that. Ways to do that. What you do is you just get a little cash here and you go off the digital footprint thing, and then you just kind of spend your money on your side, and it's like, this is mine, this is mine, this is mine, right? And so you're hiding your spending habits. You can hide these things. Or any secret. Having a secret in general is a way to hide. I want to tell you today, this is major. I want you to get this line right here. Secrecy is the enemy of intimacy. Secrecy is the enemy of intimacy. Any area in your life that you're holding secret from your partner, or secret from your relationship with God, secret from your children, secret from your close friends, from your church, from your pastor, any area where you are keeping something secret, that is an area where intimacy does not exist. You have found an intimacy-free zone. Want a deep relationship? You have to get rid of the shallow secrets. I'm telling you, secrets are shallow. Secrets are usually built on ego, fear, worry about what other people think of me, and then tying all that to an identity. And all of that stuff is shallow. What is deep is bearing all before a person. What is really deep is who God calls you to be. That's what's deep. What's really deep is grace and mercy. That is what is really deep. Somebody say, secrets are shallow. You need to bear all before one another, married couples. Hashtag, get naked. Take it all off. In your marriage, you got to do that. Promise number 4 tonight. Here it is. I promise to confide, not hide. We've given you some promises that'll save your marriage. This one will undoubtedly save your marriage. I promise to confide, not hide. Confide means to confess. Confide means I'm not hiding it, I'm putting it right out there. I'm going to tell you exactly what I'm going through, the fear that I'm going through. I'm going to share that. Somebody say confide, not hide. If secrecy is the enemy of intimacy, I choose honesty because that's intimate. I choose confession. I choose righteousness. I choose honor. I choose, big word for every marriage, trust. Yeah. You want a good marriage? You want a really marriage? Great marriage? This is a sentence you need to be able to say. Here it is. I didn't want to tell you because I think it's embarrassing, but I trust you enough to tell you. Now, let me talk to the men for a second because I think all the ladies are like nodding. Guys, all the ladies are nodding. So guys, I'm going to say it again for us. Guys, we need to be able to say the words, listen, I'm worried about this. I'm fearful about this. I'm embarrassed about my action, but I trust you enough to talk about it. Put that in your vocabulary. And more importantly, put that in your heart. And if you are like, about that, then this sermon is absolutely for you. Stay tuned. We need to choose light over darkness. Paul tells us about that in Ephesians chapter 5, 8 through 10. For you were once darkness. He just comes right out and says it. He doesn't say you were once, in a dark place. Right? You notice this? He doesn't say, you were just really bad after that Cowboys season. You're just in a really dark place. No, he says that you were darkness. Hello, darkness, my old friend. It's me. I have been darkness. Is anybody honest enough to say, no, I've been more than in a dark place. I have been a dark place. Everywhere I've walked in some parts of my life brought darkness. It brought fear. It brought anger. There were times in my life, everything that came out of my mouth was angry and nasty and unforgiving. Oh, Paul, you just let us have it. For you were once darkness. But he doesn't leave us there. But now you are light in the Lord. Now, just like you were darkness, you aren't just now in light. You are light. That the light of the Lord is inside of you. Does anybody want to be the light that walks around? Oh, Jesus says you are the city on a hill whose light cannot be hid. And then he says, live as children of light. Love that little phrase. That's amazing. Verse 9, for the fruit of the light consists in all goodness. Goodness, somebody say goodness. Righteousness, say righteousness. And truth, somebody say truth. You want to combat darkness? It's going to be that. Goodness, righteousness, and truth. If you're saying something that's a lie, is that light or dark? If you're doing something sinful, is that light or dark? If you're doing something that's just kind of rotten overall and make just a nasty person, is that light or dark? There it was. That was truth, righteousness, and goodness. Being beaten and lived out in a darkness rather than being lived out in a light. Next verse. And find out what pleases the Lord. That's a verse. Somebody needs that life verse today. It might be me. Let's just get real. I need that one. I need to find out what pleases the Lord, and then I need to do it, but only on Sunday. No. I need to do it all the time. I need to find what pleases the Lord, and then I need to live that. You know what pleases the Lord? Light pleases the Lord. Goodness, righteousness, and truth, it pleases the Lord. Find out what pleases the Lord. In verse 11, have nothing to do with the fruitless deeds of darkness, but rather expose them. Is there a single fruit that grows in the dark? I'm not aware. Looking at Jessica, she's thinking really hard about this. She's like, I'm going to come up with, like mushrooms maybe? That's a fungus. Nope, that's not fruit. I think the devil made mushrooms. Sorry. All right. Fruitless deeds of darkness. If you want to be fruitful, you got to live in the light. Darkness is fruitless. Instead of having the fruitless deeds of darkness, you need to expose them. How do you expose them? To light. Now listen, this is not what it's saying. I'm going to expose my husband. Boom, I'm going to put it right on Facebook for everybody to see. That's not it. Slow that down. That's not what this is talking about. It's talking about the darkness that is your darkness. Expose it to light. Now listen, if you have darkness in your home, you can also expose that to light through what? The same things: goodness, righteousness, and truth. Be good to one another. Be righteous towards one another. Oh, but you don't know what they did. I don't have to know what they did. You can still be righteous even when people are being unrighteous to you. You know who did that better than anyone? A guy named Jesus. He was righteous and he was truthful even when people lied on him. I want to ask you a question. What is the darkness in your life? No, don't say that out loud. We're not here to like expose each other's business. But I want you to think about this. What is the darkness in your life? What's the darkness in your heart? What's the darkness in the thoughts that go through you or the words that come out of your mouth? What is the darkness in your life? Recently, we went to a movie theater and we invited a friend to go with us. It might have been Cleta. So our family went to see If. It was a pretty good movie. I liked it. It was really nice. I liked it. We went to see If, but we got to the movie theater before Cleta. And so the lights went dark. You know that moment where you walk in early enough, Cleta. They actually have the lights on in the movie theater. But then there comes a time they bring the lights down, and by down, I mean all the way down, right? And then they start the previews. All right, somewhere like past the last preview, like in the middle of the movie, I sense a commotion over to my left over there. And I look over there and I see some lady and she's got like her phone and she's like on the floor looking, what letter is that? She's looking for her row letter. She's like looking for H or something. And she's like, where is everybody? Cleta, we're over here. Cleta. She couldn't find us. Why couldn't she find us? Because of darkness. You walk inside that dark movie theater, you're like, whoa, your bearings are all off. You're like, this is so dark. I can't see myself around. I can't even find where I'm supposed to sit. But I had been sitting in that dark theater for 10 minutes. And I was able to immediately see who Cleta was, where she was. I was able to see the letter she was trying to see on the floor. Big circle with an H in it. I could clearly see it from where I was. Do you know why I could see it, but she couldn't see it? It's because I had been sitting in the darkness so long, my eyes had adjusted to it. That moment you walk in, you're like, your eyes are not ready for it. And it's a jarring darkness. But the longer you sit in darkness, the less you recognize it. Is there a darkness in your life that used to jar you, but it no longer jars you? Are there movies that used to really jar you and say, I shouldn't watch this, but now it's just commonplace for you to watch dark things like that? Is there a darkness in your life that you are so past the point of recognizing anymore? It's become just a way of life for people with an addiction. It's just become a way of life. It's not a thing. They're surprised that people freak out about the drug addiction because to them, it's like breathing. They've become accustomed to the darkness. Has the way you talk to one another in your marriage, is it so dark that you don't even, have you been in the darkness so long you don't even realize that's not how you used to talk to each other? That's not how you treated each other on that wedding day. That's not how you treated each other when you first met each other. Darkness affects our eyes and adjusts us to a place we don't recognize the darkness anymore. I'm telling you, listen real quick before I move on. We cannot look to the world to find our bearings. We cannot look to the world that is living in darkness to find out how to live in light. We can't do that. We have to walk away, reject the fruitless, what does it say? The fruitless deeds of darkness. And we have to adjust to the light. And the moment you're hit with the light, whoa, that light is so bright. It is also jarring. And the light of Jesus is just like that. When God's light shines in my darkness, it makes me freeze. It makes me realize, whoa, I have been so wrong. Are we living in darkness? Have your eyes adjusted to darkness? Or are you a child of light? Do you say that some sins are not a big deal? Whoa, I think we all do. Can we just be honest for a second? I think we all do. I think there are certain things in our life that we know are not on the straight and narrow. And we're like, yeah, but at least I'm not Hitler. like we say stuff like that. At least we aren't like the person over there. At least I'm not like Marshall, for example. At least I'm not like that. We do these things. We like, that's when we compare one another. And in your home, you might do that. You say, I'm not all that, but look who you are, and look what you have done. And we just embrace darkness. But are we adjusted to darkness, or are we children of the light? Ephesians chapter 5, just a few verses earlier, it says these words. It says, but among you, he's talking to church people here. He's talking to believers here. He says, among you, there must not be even a hint of sexual immorality or of any kind of impurity. Not even a hint. I want to address this for a second. We need to kind of redraw our lines. We're like, this is what sin is, and I can come up as close to it as I want, just not cross over it. Right? And no, there can't even be a hint of it. Don't even be in the vicinity of sin. Don't be even in the vicinity of a sexual immorality in your home. Don't be close to it. So I want to invite you to redraw the lines. Redraw the lines. In the Old Testament, there is a mountain, and God says to Moses, he says, don't let anyone touch the mountain or they'll die. And so it was up to Moses to make sure no one touched the mountain, right? Where does the mountain start? I'm not sure where a mountain starts. Have you ever tried to climb a mountain? Where does it go from ground to mountain? Because it start out right here. I don't know where a mountain starts. It's hard to know where a mountain starts. You following me? In other words, don't come up right to the moment where a mountain might be. Back it up, respect it, give honor to the distance that you put between you and something that will harm you. And back here in Ephesians 5:3, it says to do just that. Make sure you don't come up and touch sexual immorality. Back up that line. Be a little further back from that, because you don't even need a hint of it in your life. Not even a hint. So when we talk about sexual immorality, the first thing we think of is like jumping into bed with somebody, right? That's what we think, right? But if we back that line up, that sin actually and that immorality starts way before the moment you jump into a bed, right? It starts with looks and it starts with thoughts. So we need to redraw the lines of sexual immorality. And you know who does that? Jesus, yeah. Sunday school answers. Jesus is always the answer. Jesus redraws the line of adultery. Maybe you know this verse, Matthew chapter 5, verse 28. Jesus says, but I say to you that whoever looks at a woman, we're not talking jumping into bed with the woman, just looking at a woman to lust for her, has already committed adultery with her in his heart. What is Jesus doing? He is talking to people that have said, you know, we can live as close to the sexual morality as we want, just not jump into it. He says, no, you're already in it. Back that line up. Redraw the lines. You don't even need a hint of sexual immorality in your life. And he draws the line all the way from the act, and he brings it all the way to the, what's the last word? To the heart. Isn't everything a heart issue? My gosh, it's not just about the stealing, it's about the heart that steals, right? Not just about the curse words that come out of your mouth, it's that every word comes from your heart. Isn't that awful? And that's what Jesus is redrawing here. Somebody say, redraw the lines. Somebody say, confide, don't hide. So what should we do with this right here? Here's what we should do with this. No more. There are some things that just no more. We're going to redraw the line. We're not going to just cheat on our wife physically. We're not just going to cheat on our husband physically. No more lusting after anyone that is not your spouse. No, not even the lust factor. Not even the desire factor. We're going to turn every bit of that off. We're going to say no to any of those things. That means no fantasy things. Let's just go there. No fantasy, no thoughts and emotions. No pornography. No fantasy novels. We're going to redraw those lines. No secret desires. No emotional interactions where you're sharing emotions with somebody that you should only be sharing with your spouse. We're going to redraw the lines because we aren't going to play with a mountain that will kill you. We're going to back off. Our marriage is too important. We're not going to get close to things that could harm our marriage and harm the person that we're sworn to love and we're sworn to protect and honor. Hebrews chapter 13 and 4 kind of just jumps out at it. Here it is. Marriage should be honored by all. And the marriage bed kept pure. I want you to look at that real quick. And the marriage bed kept pure, for God will judge the adulterer and all the sexual immoral. All right, let's talk about this. Would you ever wear, you know who has the dirtiest boots usually in this entire church? It's Alex. I'm just going to tell on him. Alex would come home. He would do the electrical engineering work. Let's hear it for hardworking men like Alex. But Alex would live with us, and he would just walk in, and you could tell when Alex came in because he'd come in with those boots. I'm like, get those boots out of our house. Sarah's going to kill us all. Get those boots out of here. Because those dirty boots were just covered in a whole day's worth of mud. Now let me ask you, imagine those dirty boots. Would you wear dirty boots into your bed? Would you just hop on the bed, throw the covers right over your dirty boots? Who would do that? Anybody? Only Alex. Alex, work on that. Work on that today. These altars are open in a few minutes for you to come. How about this one? This maybe, if you do this, don't do it. All right. Would you go from a sweaty gym workout and then just come home and just hop into bed? Please don't do that. Do not do that. Don't do that. I just tell you right now, husbands, wives, if anybody's doing that, that is open to counseling right now. I'll counsel with you over stuff like that. There are certain gross things you don't bring into your bed. There's a rule at our house, no crackers in our bed. Get out of our bed with food. Sometimes our kids just love to just come into our bed and bring food. And we're like, what are you doing, you pig animals? No, you don't want to bring dirty things into the place you're going to rest. In the place that's meant to be peaceful. In the place that is meant to be pure and clean and undefiled and marked off territory from the outside world. The outside world doesn't get into this bed. We don't just let any old thing come into this bed. I want to tell you today, clean your bed. Somebody say, clean your bed. Somebody can send this to their kids if they're not cleaning their bed. Clean your bed, kids. Clean your bed. I'm going to tell you that this cleanliness goes way beyond physical filth. Don't let anger in your bed. Like we have these angry things, these angry blow-ups, and then we just go to bed without getting forgiveness. The Bible says, don't let the sun go down on your anger. Don't end the day angry. Fix it. There are some things, feel free to put them off, right? Okay, we'll start the load of laundry in the morning. Okay, we'll forgive each other in the morning. No, do it now. Y'all get me? Don't let the sun go down. Don't end the day angry. Don't let anger come to your bedroom. Don't let anger. That is like wearing dirty boots to bed. That is letting things in a place that will rob you of the peace, that will rob you of intimacy, that will rob you of joy. Don't let them come to your bed. How about this one? Unforgiveness. I'm telling you, I believe it is a sin not to forgive each other quickly. I'll just say that. I know somebody hurt you so bad that you're going to push back on that. I get that. But Jesus forgives us so quickly. I have never asked for forgiveness and he's like, you know what? You just stew in that a little while. He has never said that. He has always forgiven me immediately. If someone comes to you and says, please forgive me, as a Christian, as a person that is like Jesus Christ, we need to forgive them ASAP. We have 2 people, 3 clapping. No, we need to forgive people, guys. And especially the person that shares your bed. Or how about this one? Passive aggressive undertones. Who wrote this? Passive aggressive undertones. Like we aren't saying anything. Like we aren't like being nasty overtly. But we're like, have you ever heard like, you can be silently passive aggressive? Y'all know what I'm talking about? Y'all do know what I'm talking about. Is anybody honest enough to say they know what I'm talking about? Come on, you could be so, my gosh, you can turn over in bed passive aggressively. Is there anything wrong? I'm fine. I'm fine. Passive aggressive undertones and silence and letting a wall be between you. Like might as well build a wall in your bed. Terrible, don't do that. Or how about this one, letting secrets. And here's the thing about secrets. You can bring secrets to bed and nobody even knows that they're there. But I'm telling you, that is keeping your marriage bed from being pure. Or just unaddressed issues in general. We're not going to talk about that. I'm going to leave this. I'm not ready to talk about that. No, talk about it. Talk about it. Bring that out. Seek counseling. Pray together. Love one another, but address these issues. Because your bed is supposed to be the most peaceful place on earth for you. 2 people that love Jesus and love each other, what could be better than that? You tell me what's better than that. Why would you let something rob you of that? It's like letting the serpent rob you again. Let me ask you this. How do we live a life of purity? Got just one simple verse to share with you. How do we live this life of purity, of clean beds, clean hearts, clean lives? Proverbs 28:13 does a pretty good job, I think. It says, whoever conceals their sins does not prosper, but the one who confesses and renounces them finds mercy. Promise number 4, a promise to confide, not hide. I want to tell you that confession brings intimacy. Maybe you're a person in this room and like, I can't confess that. That will harm my relationship. I want to tell you, I bet you not. I bet you absolutely that if you will confess the thing that is wrong in your life, that it will actually improve your relationship. Y'all are so quiet right now. I just made everyone weird. Let me tell you this real quick. I want you to imagine a man and a woman, and somebody's done something wrong, and they're sitting at a table. And let's say it's the man that did something wrong, because that happens a lot. And the man is sitting there, the woman's sitting there. The woman is trying to actively still love the man. But the man has one thought in his head. Do you know what the one thought in the man's head that has messed up? The one thought in the mind of a man who messed up is this: I would give anything to undo the thing I did. That is the thought that goes through every man's mind when they've messed up. I wish I could go back into stupid me. Why did I do that? And I've been in meetings with counseling sessions with men and women, and I've had to say this: buddy, stop being stupid. Said that. Isn't that good pastoring? Isn't that great? Stop being stupid. And they look up jarred at you, because sometimes you just have to get people's attention. You are being so stupid because you are rejecting the one thing that is better than you could ever get. You are receiving a love from a woman who loves you even though you've messed up. And you're so in your thoughts, you are only thinking about you and your own shame and your own broken identity, that you don't realize there is grace coming on you that you could never deserve. She is giving you a greater grace than you ever had yesterday. She's giving you actually a better love than you ever received yesterday, because now you know that you don't deserve it. And that's what grace is. Oh, somebody say, don't be stupid. Stop hiding. Confession brings intimacy. Don't you know that confession brings intimacy with God? Real quick, one of the things that always stands out to me in Genesis 3 is God asks these questions. What are some of the questions he asks? He asks, where are you, Adam? That's my God voice. Where are you, Adam? Where are you? He asks this question, who told you that? God asks you that. Do you think God didn't know where Adam was? Do you think God didn't know who told him that? What is God doing there? He is laying the groundwork for Adam to just confess. And Adam's like, nope, I'm not talking. Nope. See, the problem is that woman you gave me. And he doesn't confess. He doesn't confess. And that's the real problem in Genesis 3. And that's the real problem in our home. We need confession. Confession brings intimacy. And confession to God absolutely brings intimacy. If you feel like you're far from God today, confess your sin. And you'll be closer to God than when you walked in. Openness to your spouse brings intimacy. Somebody say, stop hiding. Instead, confess and renounce that sin and turn from that sin and turn toward God. I'm going to ask our musicians to come. As we do, I've got something strange for you to do, because I do strange things. That's just what we do here. So as the musicians come, I'd like everybody to just bow their head, close their eyes. We're going to do a future shame exercise. This is in the future. You've been caught. You've been found out. That thing that is your worst fear, that someone realizes that you did this thing, said this thing, went here, whatever that is. It's now found out. Imagine that secret being found out. Eyes closed. Think about this. You know what happens in this moment? Think about it for a little bit. I'll give you my rundown on it. Here I've done that awful thing. And I'm sitting at my dining room table, and I've got my my 4 children there, because this is in the future. We got a baby born. Sarah's there. But in that moment, because of what I did, I've dragged God's name through the mud. I've dragged his name through the mud. I've dragged the ministry I'm attached to. I've dragged that name through the mud. And people that were really close to maybe knowing Jesus said, I knew he would. All Christians are like that. And that's what they're going to say in that moment. And it's all my fault. And then my reputation's been lost, and rightfully so, because I did that thing. Whatever that thing is, I did that thing. That thing I tried to keep secret, I couldn't keep it secret. Now everybody knows, and nobody wants to hear from Chris Fluitt. That guy, you know what that guy did, right? And then there comes that moment where I have to look my kids in the eyes, and I look at my 14-year-old first, and I look at him first, and I say, that Daddy did a thing he should have never done. And I'm very sorry that I did it. And then my younger kids are really confused. They don't know what's going on. And maybe it's such a thing that we don't really even need to get into the details. But Daddy just says, I'm so sorry. Please forgive me for what I've done. And then my wife there she's crying. She's weeping. She's trying to hold it together. She's trying to forgive me. She's trying to love me. She's trying to get over the hurt and the pain in her life that I've caused. I caused this pain. Pain that is really difficult. I've done all of this with my secrets. And in that moment, I experience boosh. I experience that shame. Everybody look up. I experienced that draining of the blood and the life force and the joy and the peace and the gift that God's given me. It just kind of all ebbs away. That's a rotten future. Can I tell you something? I wouldn't wish that future on anyone in this place. Not one of you. I wouldn't wish anything like that for anybody in this place. So I'll tell you this. You can stop this future today. There are secrets in your life that will absolutely take you to that place. But you can stop that future today. What does the word say in Proverbs? It says, whoever conceals their sins does not prosper. But the one who confesses and renounces them finds mercy. Oh, if you've got a secret, it's not time to sit on that secret. It's time to confess that secret. It's time to, number one, talk to God. Number two, talk to your spouse. Do you understand in this place? Anybody understanding me? These are secrets that will destroy your future. And we guard them and we hold on to them like they're needing to be held on to. No, they have to be exposed. They're fruitless deeds of darkness. So what do you do with this today? Here's what I would like you to do. I'd like you to consider these 3 things. Here they are. Make your move. Number 1, confess to God. Confess to him. He already knows about it, but it's not enough for him to know about it. You've got to confess it. You have to say words like, God, I'm a sinner. God, I've done this wrong thing, and I know it's wrong, and I know you've told me not to do it, but here I've done it. I relinquish it. I turn away from it. I'm not going to do that thing anymore. And you know what you're doing when you do this? You're taking sin seriously. You're taking it seriously. You're like going, no, this thing will kill me. This thing is the future that will just destroy my entire home. This will destroy my relationship with my children and my wife. I'm going to take it seriously by bringing it to God. And actively in that moment, you're going to tell God yes. I don't know what God's going to ask of you. I don't know what God's going to say to you in that moment, but you're going to say yes in advance. God, whatever it is, and you're going to say no to sin. I'm going to not do that thing anymore. I'm not going to seek those things anymore. I'm not going to hold on to those secrets like somehow me keeping that secret is what's holding my life together. I'm falling apart inside. I confess it. That's number one. I want you to confess today. Confess today. Number two, choose intimacy. Banish secrecy. I'm telling you, there are weird, I know it's weird. There are weird conversations that need to happen in marriages where somebody just says, hey, this is a thing. It's got to happen. If you're ever going to have the intimacy that you desire, you've got to have that conversation. We need to have conversations. We need to be talking. And you need to clean that marriage bed. And that could be a lot of things right there. That could be that secret spending habit of yours. Get that out of there. That's the thing that you're hiding. That's the thing that brings shame. Don't let it in. Past conversations that were negative and nasty, don't let those in there. Have a conversation about forgiveness. Have a conversation about mercy. Choose intimacy. That's number two. Number three, don't hide. I'm not talking just this week. I'm talking right now. Don't hide. Some of you have been hiding. Don't hide right now. Instead, say, here I am. This is who I am. Here I am. Tell that to God. And you can do that in two ways tonight. You can boldly worship him. In a few moments, they're going to be having songs. And you could just stand on your feet, throw your hands in the air, just begin to sing with the heart that says, God, here I am, a mess up that I am, a lousy husband that I am, a guy that's had stupid things in his life. Here I am, but I'm worshiping you and I'm making you king and I'm making you Lord. And then also boldly come and pray. Boldly. What does that look like? That means that you come here and you say, Pastor, I want you to pray for me. I've got this thing and I'm ready to step away from it. And you can step away from it today and it'll save your future. It can save your marriage. It can save future marriages, but you've got to do something about it today. And it requires you taking all of this seriously. Those are three things for you to do. Why don't you go ahead and stand, and why don't you come in this place as they start to play and sing. I'm going to pray for all of our friends watching, listening online. Friends watching, listening online. God has a future for you. He has a future for you in light. It is time to step away from darkness. He will put his light in you. You will become children of light. I want you to confess your sins right now where you are. I want you to call out to him, and I want you to boldly worship him and boldly pray, boldly make him number one in your life. I want you to address the secrets in your life. I want you to be looking at relationships. I want you to be looking at your marriage, and I want you to get secrets out of your bedroom. Get secrets. Let your marriage bed be pure. Start to pray that. Start to surrender that to God. All over this place, come on, let's make a move to God right now. Come on, dream team, come on up. Come on, church, let's reach out to him. Let's worship him in this place. It's time to reach out to God. It's time to take this so serious. Let's do it together. Father, in Jesus' name, we ask you, God, to move, God. We thank you, Jesus.
For more information about redemption, look us up online at redemptionplano.com. We want to hear more from you, so be sure to connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, or even our anonymous text line at 469-651-1178. Thanks for joining us, and have a blessed day.